Hi and welcome to episode 10 of season 3 of A Brief History of Nothing. I'm not in fact Ray.
I'm not in fact James. I am in fact Ray, the handsome one.
Whatever. Okay, now we wanted to sort of talk about someone who died recently who is a very important figure but not very well talked about.
Yes. Irina Sendler is her name.
Yeah.
Not very well known, but 2,500 Jewish children owe her their lives.
Yeah.
She was German by descent, and she was working in Warsaw in World War II. She convinced the Nazis that she had qualifications in plumbing and drainage, and so got herself a pass to go into the Jewish ghetto in Warsaw.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, she started smuggling out children and babies out of the ghetto and finding places for them and hiding them, and then passing them off as German and non-Jewish. She died not that long ago at the age of 98. Like I say, she saved 2,500 children. Some of it was ingenious. She had a big toolbox with a false bottom in it, and babies she would hide in her big toolbox. And then other children, because she used to wear a big greatcoat over, and she'd actually have children strapped to her body under the big greatcoat. And some she'd hide in a big burlap sack in her truck. She got some out through the sewers. She also trained her dog to bark ferociously whenever the Germans checked her passes and things to go in and out of the ghetto, so that the Germans would hurry her along, the guards would hurry her along and not check as closely as they could.
Quite clever lady.
Yes, she was a very ingenious lady. I don't know if she actually had any qualifications in plumbing and draining, but there you go.
Well, what does it matter? She has obviously qualifications in rescuing people that are currently being slaughtered.
Yes, they did eventually find her out, and she was systematically beaten and tortured. She had her arms and legs broken by the Germans, and was beaten almost senseless as well. But she survived the war, obviously, because she lived till she was 98.
Yeah.
Last year, apparently, she was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, but was not selected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ever get a chance to read Irene Sendler's story, please do.
Yeah.
Very, very brave lady. A very brave lady indeed.
Yeah, so it wasn't just Schindler that was rescuing.
No, and it was Adrian. Was it Adrian, the guy that rescued the Austrian children?
I think so. Well,
the stockbroker.
Yeah, well, he was working in. I can't remember where he was working, but he just went, oh, well, I have a. I think was it a stockbroker or was he something?
Yeah, I think he was a stockbroker.
Was he the guy that went up?
Got the children onto the trains.
Yeah, I think so. But he got. Didn't he? He was in, like, the BBC had this thing where he was sitting in the front row of this huge crowd, and
yes, they paid a tribute to him, and all the people sitting around him were the children that had grown up, and lived because of him.
Mm.
Very quiet, unassuming man.
Yes, and so he wasn't. I mean, no one knew that he until very recently.
Yes, he didn't, and he didn't want people to know.
Yeah,
he wanted it kept quiet. Yes, talking about people who want to make a song and dance and a big note themselves, is young Donald Trump.
Yeah, currently is leading the polls for the Republican primaries.
Okay, speaking as an Australian, looking at American politics, can I say it doesn't make you look good, okay?
We're just going, we're looking at the Democrats and going, yes, come on, and then we're looking at the Republicans doing this and then doing this.
Yes. Well, I think what we should do for Donald, we should help him with his hair, because Donald's got the world's biggest comb over. So what we should do with Donald is teach him when he combs the hair forward and then around, so he's got that bit sorted. Then he'd comb the bit from the side over, which locks down the bit from the back. Then he'd grow his eyebrows longer and then comb them back, so that holds all that in place. Then grow his ear hair really long and take it up and tighten a bow on top. And that'll keep all his hair in place, so it won't wander around his head in the wind.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do. Particularly when you're getting attacked by a bald eagle.
Is
Like,
he a bald eagle?
Well, that's what happens. Like, to be all patriotic and everything, they put him in an office, like, with a bald eagle next to him, and the bald eagle took offence.
Well, if I was a bald eagle, I would have taken at least offence.
But we wanted to talk about, we're talking about the people who rescued, like, Jewish people from the Third Reich. And I know we're invoking Godwin's law here, but there has been... Donald Trump wants to, say, surveil all Muslims and have
stop Muslims from entering America and put surveillance on them. Now, okay, like it or not, this is the sort of thing Hitler promised he would do with Jews.
Yes.
It's exactly. And he said, I will do this, this, this. And when he got into power, he was popularly elected, and when he got into power, he did exactly that. He didn't back down from what he said he would do. He did exactly what he said he would do.
Yeah.
And
look what happened.
Yes. So you're going to give another guy a chance to do something similar?
Do we want the brain surgeon who thinks that the pyramids were built purely for storing grain, or was it someone else? That's what Ben Carson actually said that.
Yeah,
it's almost as bad as conservative politics in Australia, really.
Yeah. Yes, it is a bit. But no, look, people, think about this for a while, okay?
Don't let history
Don't
repeat
think
itself.
about what is best for you. Think about what is best for the person next to you.
Yeah.
And if everybody thinks about that, everybody will be better off.
Yes.
So you've got another problem with you've got two very good Democratic candidates.
Yeah.
Which is run the risk of splitting the Democratic vote and letting this numbskull in.
But I am feeling the burn. Hopefully enough people. Bernie Sanders basically wants what Australia has had for ages, and what England has had for ages.
What's that?
A universal healthcare system.
Well, yeah, in America, you know, what would cost you in England?
Tens of thousands of dollars.
What would cost you an operation? Would cost the health system maybe $5,000. Would cost you like $40,000 in America.
Yeah, not that the healthcare companies and commercial hospitals have the government over a barrel. That doesn't happen.
Oh, they're making billions. They're literally making billions.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened on this day?
What happened on this day? The first divorce in America happened on this day. Mrs. Clark decided to divorce Mr. Clark because Mr. Clark shot through and left Mrs. Clark and a couple of kids, and he decided to take up with another woman and have another family, another few kids, and she got a bit miffed about it.
Really? So she found infidelity a little offensive?
Yes, being as she was a Puritan. And
really?
So she went to the court, and they thought, oh, he's been a bit naughty. And so they granted her a divorce, and then they put sanctions on him because he was a bit naughty. Yes. So in 1643, the first ever divorce in the United States happened.
Yes, and in 1916, through this, in the middle of this thing you might have heard of called World War I.
Yes, well, Britain was losing men hand over fist because the generals were treating them like cannon fodder.
Yeah.
And so they had to introduce conscription to keep their army supplied with fresh recruits, and that was on this day in 1916. Now, 1920, a little known baseball player, Babe Ruth, was purchased by the New York Yankees on this day in 1920.
Yeah.
Went on to have a moderately successful career.
Moderately successful?
Oh yes, the salt and the swat. Yes, he one of the most successful baseball players ever.
Meanwhile, also in the United States,
yes, on the other side of the country.
Yeah, diagonally opposite almost.
Yes, 1933, the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge started on this day.
I didn't know why it's that colour. It wasn't. It was something to do. They had to paint it that colour for a particular reason. I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
I can't remember it. I cannot remember.
But it's only a part of several bridges, actually.
It is?
Yes, there's several bridges in that line.
Because, well, San Francisco Bay, that's probably why. Yes.
It's biggish.
Yeah, it's a little biggish.
Yes. Now, in 1968 on this day, the Prague Spring began in Czechoslovakia. Students and like-minded people were getting sick of the oppressive. Thank you.
English is hard.
Communist rule, and decided to rebel.
Those communists.
Yes, well, that really didn't work well for them, because Russia decided that, hey, we're being nice now, we will really be oppressive, and they brought tanks into the streets of Prague and basically brutally suppressed the rebellion.
Yeah.
And on this day in 1998, Sonny Bono, half of Sonny and Cher, was killed in a skiing accident. He hit a tree.
Well, that was funny because it was that probably wasn't funny, but
he didn't find it funny at all.
You may have heard of a thing called the Darwin Awards.
Yes.
I don't know if they won it, but they got they were a runner-up. These people decided it'd be really funny to take the padding off one of the poles for the ski lift and use it as a sled. The only trouble is they then ran full speed into the pole that didn't have the padding on it.
And killed themselves.
Yes,
of course they did. Now, something that happened yesterday on the 4th of the 1st, entrepreneur and music businessman Robert Stigwood died. He was 81 years of age. He brought people like the Bee Gees. He signed them when they were a little known band and made them what they went on to become.
Yeah.
And gave us the World Saturday Night Fever and various other things. So, he was quite big in the entertainment industry. Originally born in Adelaide, but emigrated to England in, I think, about 1955.
And John Travolta was never the same again.
Yes. Okay, now...
Who got born?
Well, Richard, the first Earl of Cornwall, was born on this day in 1209. He lived to a ripe old age, actually. He kicked on till 1272, so he was getting pretty long in the tooth by...
medieval period, that's a good innings.
Yes. And now I can't even... you can have a go at this one.
Okay, I think Shahan, I think it's how it's pronounced. Sorry, but my Sanskrit is not quite up to snuff.
No.
Mughal Emperor of India. Now, you may have heard of this thing called the Taj Mahal.
He was the critter of that.
That was his wife's, basically, his wife's burial stone, essentially.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And it's sort of come into popular
popular culture.
Popular culture. Now, if you have a flash building, it's like the Taj Mahal now.
Yeah, so it's not actually Hindu, it's actually Muslim.
Now, Constance Mozart, she was Wolfgang Amadeus' wife. She was born on this day in, the old Taj Mahal builder, he was born in 1592.
We should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Constance was born in 1762. She was the wife of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Now, 1834, a chap named William John Wills. He was an English explorer, well known in Australia as half of Burke and Will's expedition that went to the Gulf of Carpentaria and got halfway back.
He got halfway back because the Aborigines that said don't eat this, and they ate it. As there was a certain herb or something they weren't supposed to eat, and they ate it, and that didn't end up for them very well.
No,
because they didn't listen.
No, because colonial Englishmen always know better than everybody else, but the fact that they haven't been there before is of no consequence.
Yeah,
because they're English, they know better.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, in 1903, a very little known Australian, but a very important Australian, well, particularly to Americans, was Harold Gatty. He was the Australian navigator for aviation pioneer Willie Post, and without his navigator, Willie Post wouldn't have gone real far at all. No. So he was born in 1903, Harold Gatty. Now, 1914. George Reeves was born. Now, he had a bit part in Gone with the Wind. He was one of Scarlett's original suitors. Probably far better known to a lot of generation of people as he played Clark Kent in Superman in the 1950s television series.
Right.
He died of suicide, so they say. Now, that was in 1914. George Reeves was born in 1917. Jane Wyman was born. Now, She's an actress in one of my favourite movies, The Magnificent Obsession.
Never seen it.
She was all late 40s through the 50s. She was a darling of American cinema.
Yeah, and although she was first wife of Ronald Reagan.
Yes, she was Ronald Reagan's first wife before Nancy. Now, another well-known, that was 1923, a chappie named Sam Phillips, who's credited with discovering Elvis Presley and getting in, first person to get him to record. Sam Phillips, he was born in 1923 in Florence, Alabama.
Right.
Now, 1924, a Dr. Gilbert Bogle, an Australian scientist. He's not famous for being a scientist, he's famous for being dead.
Yeah, because he got poisoned with swamp gas.
Well,
sort of.
He was part of the Bogle-Chandler case. He was found dead with somebody else's wife in the bush, and they assumed it was murder, but they've subsequently decided that it was more likely to have been overcome by swamp gas.
Which is yummy, because it gets to a point where you can't actually smell it.
Mm.
So hydrogen sulfide, I mean, we all know how it smells. It's not real pleasant, but it gets to a point where you can't smell it anymore, and that's when it gets really dangerous.
Mm. So, yes, apparently there's a bit of wife swapping going on in Canberra.
And apparently even swamp gas is deadly in Australia. Yes. Well, swamp gas is deadlier than everyone else's swamp gas.
Yes.
Who knew?
Who knew? Who knew? Yes, Robert Duvall, actor. I think anybody who's ever seen the movie has seen Robert Duvall.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
No, that's not Robert Duvall.
No, that's not Robert Duvall.
Robert De Niro.
Oh, okay.
Robert Duvall is in Taxi Driver, but he's not Robert. Doesn't matter.
So I don't know old movies. So.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the name of the movie. One of his later movies, because in the previous couple of decades he hasn't been doing a huge amount. He plays a doctor. John Travolta plays a man who develops extraordinary mental powers.
In Phenomenon.
That's it, Phenomenon. Yes.
Yes.
Good movie, that.
It is.
Yes. Diane Keaton. Of course, everybody will know who Diane Keaton is. She was born on this day in 1946. Robert Duvall was born in 1931. Now, Vinnie Jones, very well known in England as a footballer and to the rest of the world as an actor and as a tough guy in action movies. Was born on this day in 1965. And in 1969, Marilyn Manson was born.
Yes. He's a bit of a strange critter.
Yes, he's
a bit of a strange critter.
Now, 1975, Bradley Cooper, American actor, various things. He was born on this day in 1975 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And last but by no means least, young January Jones was born on this day in 1978.
So obviously, 9 months ago, it was obviously the time to...
Well, yes, we could have gone 3 times longer with birthdays. Yes, obviously 9 months ago in April is the time to canoodle in the Northern Hemisphere, apparently.
Obviously.
Right. Oh, that's us for tonight.
Yep. If you like us, actually hit the like button. If you don't like us, share us on social media.
Yes, English is hard.
English is hard. Social media, and actually inflict us on everybody.
Yes, so, see you on the dark side. We got bickies.
Bye.